All right, today we are diving deep, deep into the ocean to unpack one of its most beautiful, diverse, and surprisingly complex groups of animals, the phylum Cnidaria. People often call them the flowers of the sea, and I mean, you can see why. But really, what in the world could a giant floating jellyfish and a tiny stationary coral possibly have in common? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out. And we're not talking about a small group here. This is a massive phylum with over 10,000 living species. The huge majority are marine. You'll find them in every single ocean. But get this, a few have even figured out how to make a home in freshwater. So how do you even begin to make sense of all that diversity? Well, the key, as it so often is in biology, is hiding in plain sight, right in their names. And I say names plural, because this phylum actually has two, and each one reveals something absolutely fundamental about them. Okay, so the main name, Cnidaria, comes from a Greek word meaning nettle. And that's a huge clue, because it points to their unique superpower. You see, every member of this phylum has these specialized stinging cells called cniblasts. Inside are these tiny, microscopic capsules called nematocysts, and when they're triggered, they fire out these little venomous harpoons to capture prey or defend themselves. It's this simple but totally lethal weapon that's allowed them to be such effective predators for over 500 million years, all without a brain. Now, their older name, Coelenterata, tells us the other half of the story. It literally means hollow gut, and that describes their incredibly simple internal design. We're talking about a single central cavity that's basically their stomach, with just one opening that serves as both a mouth to eat and, well, an anus to get rid of waste. Simple, but it works. So, a stinging superpower and a hollow gut. These are the two pillars of what it means to be a cnidarian. Now, let's see how those pillars support their overall body plan. A simple blueprint that has been ridiculously successful for hundreds of millions of years. This blueprint is just a masterpiece of elegant simplicity. Their bodies are radially symmetrical. You can slice them like a pizza from any angle and get two equal halves. They're diploblastic, which is just a fancy way of saying they're built from only two layers of cells, an outer ectoderm and an inner endoderm. In between those layers is just a non-cellular, jelly-like goo called mesoglia. They have no brain, just a simple nerve net to react to things, and no circulatory or respiratory systems. Everything they need, like oxygen, just soaks right through their body surface. But here's where this simple plan gets a really fascinating twist. This body plan isn't static. It can actually show up in two fundamentally different forms. This is a phenomenon called polymorphism, and it's absolutely crucial to their life cycle. You really have to get these two forms straight. First, there's the polyp. It's cylindrical and sessile, which means it's fixed in one place, attached to a surface. Think of a sea anemone. This is usually the asexual stage. Then you've got the medusa, that classic free-swimming bell-shaped thing we all recognize as a jellyfish, and this is typically the sexual stage of the life cycle. Now, these two forms often work together in this amazing life cycle called alternation of generations. It usually works like this. An asexual polyp will start budding off tiny medusae. These medusae swim away, grow up, and reproduce sexually, releasing eggs and sperm into the water. After fertilization, a larva forms, which eventually swims down, settles on the seafloor, and grows into a new polyp, starting the whole cycle all over again. Now, here's the cool part. While all cnidarians have this potential for a two-stage life cycle, not all of them use it in the same way. The way they emphasize or even totally eliminate one of these stages is how we divide the entire phylum into its three major classes. This table lays it all out beautifully. First up, in class Hydrozoa, the polyp stage is usually the dominant one, and their medusa have a little tissue shelf called a velum that helps them swim. Next, class Scyphozoa, your true jellyfish, where that free-swimming medusa is the main event. It's much larger, and it lacks that velum. And finally, class Anthozoa, which has corals and anemones. They've made a really radical choice. The medusa stage is just gone. They live their entire lives as polyps. So let's zoom in on the Scyphozoans. With around 200 species, this is the class that most of us picture when we hear the word jellyfish. That big, beautiful, pulsating medusa is their dominant life stage. And they can get truly massive. The largest Scyphozoan, the lion's mane jellyfish, can have a bell that reaches 2 meters in diameter. That's over 6 feet across, wider than a lot of cars. It's just incredible. Now, in complete contrast to those free-swimming giants are the Anthozoa, the flower animals. As we just saw, they've completely eliminated the medusa stage. They exist only as polyps, either living by themselves like a sea anemone, or all together in huge colonies like corals. And this very specialization, this decision to stick to the polyp life, brings us to why these seemingly simple animals are so profoundly important to the entire planet. It's time we talk about their role as the true architects of the ocean. And this chart just shows their incredible success. Of the more than 10,000 cnidarian species, a staggering 6,000 of them belong to this one class, Anthozoa. Their evolutionary decision to stick with the polyp-only lifestyle was a massive, massive win. This is where we see their global impact. The colonial anthozoans, the corals, they secrete hard skeletons of calcium carbonate. Over millennia, as these colonies live and die, these skeletons build up on top of one another, creating the largest structures made by any living thing on Earth, coral reefs. These reefs literally become the framework for entire ecosystems teeming with life. So think about it. We've learned that these animals, with their simple two-layered bodies and ancient lineage, are responsible for creating some of the most complex and vital habitats on our planet. It just makes you wonder, if these simple ancient creatures can build entire ecosystems, what other secrets are hidden in the ocean's flower garden?